right? I've been doing selling for a while, and I've been around like a lot of people that have been out there their finances that they've selling, fixing, they move, fixing. They are now uh, becoming lenders in the field, right? So where they're basically becoming hard money lenders and using these capitals to fund other people's projects to do their own fix and flips. So it's just being around people in that whole dynamic. Of course, I'm currently in the DMV area, and it's extremely competitive when watching people do these projects, and these properties don't really last long
on the market
at all, man. It's either you know some agents really well, or like your driving for dollars game is on point, right? Where you're just well connected with things called like bird dogs, where like you have like specific people like Mel, um, kids or neighborhood people that are aware of like abandoned properties, and they basically give you leads. Say, oh, this property is, like nobody has been living there for the past 6 months, So if it's this, so what I'll do is I'll give them a fee. I'll give them like, okay, so here's 500 for this for putting me onto this property. Or sometimes, if depending on who it is and depending on how intricate like they want to get, okay, so if I close, you'll get this amount percent from my deal. And there's a lot of people that I'll do JVs with, like other wholesalers that like I'll do JVs with, where I may have the property and they may have a buyer, and then like we'll just basically split it down the middle, like whoever will get the percentage. Or they may have the property and I may have a buyer on mine, can close extremely quick. Right? So that's definitely something that like I definitely have been dabbling in the past X amount of years. Now the market that like has been getting extremely competitive and extremely hot. You got to be extremely creative and quick with the draw nowadays, right? Where it's not as simple, especially down here in DC. Like it was already competitive from the jump, but now that like everybody seems to be buying up because of whether it's interest, because of the low like interest rate, or such a high like wanting for real estate. Everyone has been getting as much as they can, and I've been hearing that a lot of the hedge fund companies have been buying up these single family homes. So now like the whole game is even more like interesting where the hedge funds are just gobbling up all these properties left and right, because that in itself kind of raises up an eyebrow for me. The hedge funds start dabbling into real estate heavy like that, like what are they trying to prepare for? Like I start asking questions like that on the financial side.
Dope. I like, what, it's kind of interesting, when you just mentioned the whole thing about the life insurance, and obviously, I remember when this is before I had kids. Yeah, it's before I had kids. I remember, I can't remember the exact terminology, but I know there was a specific life insurance. I can't think of what it was. How they explain to you of how you can pull money out, and I'm going to tell you, this was before I had kids years ago. So I remember when they mentioned that to me. I was like, okay, but I was solely thinking about whenever it is that I leave this earth, that I want my family to be good. You know what I mean? But not knowing if you can
trust is so critical, man. All right. So a trust is basically like a container, right? That you can basically put anything within that trust. Now the reason why I say like it's so important is when I was doing, of course, my wholesaling and trying to find the owner of these properties, right? I'm doing my hip tracing, trying to find the owner so I can get in contact with them. A lot of the properties that I was finding out were put in trust. I was like, so let's say the property is 118 South Street or something like that, right? Usually when you look up a property on the county site or something like that, it will say by Sarah Jenkins, Marcus, such and such. Some of these properties will say under a specific name on the trust fund, or they'll put the address as, you know, like the trust fund, you know, like as the trust. It makes it so difficult to find the owner in between. Now, what the trust does for you, right, is that like let's say that like you pass away, and like so many people, if you don't have a will, even if you do have the will, the process of getting the property from the person that passed away is very long. But if you have a trust set in place and saying that, oh, putting in this trust and this person is going to be like, I guess, like the facilitator of the trust, the process of getting that property is way more easier and quicker when it's in a trust versus a will. So it's just something to also take to be mindful of when either buying a property or doing something that you want to keep within your family to like put it in the trust.
Cool. Appreciate that. We do have some questions for you here, Emmanuel. Renee, what's up?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Emmanuel, I just want to say thank you so much because you dropped so many gems this evening. But the one thing I do want you to kind of go over, I did come in the room a little late, but we talked a lot about the tax laws and how we can basically go online and, you know, onto irs.gov and get that information. But I really want you to emphasize the importance of having a CPA. A lot of times, you know, we run businesses and we feel like, oh, I know how to do taxes. I can go ahead and take care of this. And, you know, no, this is serious. I hear it all the time. Like, people, they think they can do their own taxes. A lot of times they end up in situations where they end up getting audited. And all of this could have easily been avoided by making sure that either you have, I call it like having your dream team. You have a loan officer, you have your CPA, like you have your realtor, mortgage broker, all of these things. So I want you to emphasize the importance of having a CPA and using one to basically take care of your taxes once you become a business. I'm not talking about like somebody having a business. No, once you become a business, once you're running and performing as an actual business.
Absolutely. One thing about it is that people think that ever since TurboTax was invented, everything, like everyone became like an accountant, right? Everyone thought that like are able to finances. That's cool, but TurboTax also makes mistakes depending on the thing that you put into it, right? So you got to be extremely, extremely keen on what you're putting into TurboTax, and sometimes it has like a lot of mistakes in there. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because my dad and I've seen him experience people bringing him their taxes after they've done what they've done in TurboTax. And then he's going over the paperwork and everything like that, and then he had to redo everything all over, where the person thought that like they were good, they didn't owe anything, and come to find out they were like they owed about $10,000 on their businesses, right? So the thing is, it's very, 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 very important to get an accountant that's going to go every line by line and make sure that all your checks and balances are right there. They're gonna ask for every, like, documentation is so. If you run a business, please keep your receipts. If you're gonna find like some kind of like app or like the scanner app to scan your receipts, to scan some kind of transactions that you have to have as proof, because when you get audited, they're gonna look through it. Okay, so it's very, very critical to maintain all these important documentation that you're gonna do with your business. Whether it's tax time, is anything in between, it's just important to keep the documentation. I think that just because you're able to like turbo taxes, you got a sweet deal. No, please invest, because it's an investment. Invest in a certified public accountant. It's very, very crucial. Sure that you have the right one. Asking the right question. How much experience you have, making sure their work, their work ethic, their values, etc. It's very, very critical to your business. It's going to up your bottom line. It's going to make your business professional. When you have a by your side, that's going to make sure that you're good on the financial aspect.
Dope. That was some good information right there. Definitely. Now I know you said something about keeping access to your receipts. How long would you say it's good to hold on to receipts? Is there a certain time frame? Or?
So the thing about it is that I know having people can be annoying.
It is.
You don't want to go to the gas station and then all your gas station receipts. Right? The thing about it is that there's apps out there where you can easily take a picture of your receipt and then it's stored in your scanner. I think it's called a scanner app, where I think there's certain apps that basically transfer to there's I feel
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
I know Intuit. Is it Intuit? They do it as well.
It's Intuit and QuickBooks. That's what it is.
QuickBooks, yeah.
Right. So you can basically transfer some of these receipts. The moment that you have them, take a picture, it goes into the scanner, and then transfers into QuickBooks, and then it stores it. So a lot of times we kind of want to live paperless, and that's when these apps come into, so that you don't have to keep, if you take a picture, have them with tax time,
Marilyn, you had a question, Marilyn?
Yes, I had a question. So, when you were talking about the life insurance, I'm assuming you're talking about whole life insurance, but I've been always told that the whole life isn't the route to go. It's always best to get the term life, especially if you have kids and you're just kind of within a certain time period, right? That you're just trying to protect some of your assets. So, I guess can you maybe, you're talking about pulling money out, but don't you have to at least contribute maybe a good portion before you can start to pull the money out? Or are you saying that if you did a whole life, it's available on day one?
No. Because I went through that too. You have to contribute a substantial amount before you're able to buy any life insurance. Because I asked the guy that was trying to set up my own life insurance. I was like, okay, so I'm putting this amount into life insurance. Does that mean that after I can pull this amount out for property? He was like, no, this is the amount that you have life insurance policy for any kind of amount that you use property or anything. So yes, you have to contribute a substantial amount before you're able to reach that plateau, withdraw from something else. But you have to remember too, I believe that you have to if I'm not mistaken, you're borrowing that money. You're borrowing that money against the insurance. So at some point, if I stand corrected, it has to return back to policy.
Replenish back, something like that.
Okay, so I guess because the way that I've been looking at life insurance is okay, fine, I'll get term life insurance, pay only $300 a year to cover, whatever, $1 million policy, whatever I need, right? And then the difference, what I do is I just invest in stock market, through an index fund, whatever, right? And then what you could do is you could just borrow margin, just take money out of that through a margin account, right? That you borrow against your investment account. So is that also an approach people can do?
Yeah. That word margin scares me all the time. Won't play around when people start talking about margin accounts and everything like that, because like my mind it like automatically goes back into the stock market aspect where people are borrowing. The market doesn't go the way like you're intending it to go, then you should. But in that aspect, I always tell people this stuff depends on the risk that you're willing to take, the avenue, and the current life that you're living, right? So, few of my friends who have taken life insurance have kids in relationships, so they're able to do everything with their life insurance policy that someone who probably does have kids. They're not willing to tap into the life insurance policy as much as they could, because they want to build that up for any kind of that may happen with them if they have some kind of like complications. So it at the end of the day is based on lifestyle, finances for, and how quick. If that makes any sense.
Okay, great. Thank you for the clarity.
No worries. Henry, you had a question, Henry?
Yes, guys. Thank you for taking the question. Got a tax-related question. I have I guess a very good problem to have, which I bought this call spread on Tesla, and the day that the Elon announced that the stock was so high, in his opinion, and I bought a very wide spread. I was very bullish on the stock, and it's very deep in the money. It was a very large one. Put a lot into it, and it's panned out. So as long as like Tesla is above 360 next year, by June of next year, I could cash out the full amount of the spread, and I'm pretty confident it will be above that 360 by next year, the summer of next year. So the question is, from a tax perspective now, if I was to, I'm in New Jersey. New Jersey is one of the highest
Yes,
tax.
it sure is.
Yeah, and so I guess the amount is significant enough that it's making me think that maybe I should move out of New Jersey, and wondering like I know what states pay the lowest taxes, right? But as far as capital gains tax goes, but I've also heard talks about even Puerto Rico. Now, does that transfer, since I bought the spread while I was in New Jersey, does it matter when I bought it or when I sell it? If I wanted to move from New Jersey to another state, am I gonna get screwed if I move to a different state and I'm claiming that to be my income for next year from, say, Puerto Rico or from any other state that doesn't have capital gains tax?
So, I think place that I can remember doesn't really have like tax like that. I think there's a handful like Texas. Texas doesn't have state tax like that. If
Right, Texas, Florida, I think Washington State. There's a couple other ones, but the thing is, like, does it
about it is that I always tell people that, so it's when you sell, it's when things triggered. Sell is when, so you're making a gain. Those are unrealized gains that you're making. Unrealized gains, not realized till the moment that you hit that sell button. So I would say that like the location that you're in, the moment that you make that sell, but your address is on paper, your driver's license, etc. That is on your brokerage, and the state that like you'll be falling under is where all those taxes such book. Now it plays a different role when you have an LLC. Now that's when it gets a little bit more tricky, and like that's more like a situation where, because there's some people on the LLC business in Arizona and something like that, but you know their address and everything is in Arizona. Their fashion in Arizona, somewhere. That's a whole different beast that you have to actually sit down and dissect, right? But for a situation like you're trying to just go in a different state, I believe that covering with like yourself, switching address from, and that's on your driver's license, and that's on.
So you think it's doable then for me to? I think that's what you're trying to say, right? That it's doable if I leave New Jersey and go to a state that has no capital gains tax, then I could avoid at least that state tax.
Right. So like I said, whatever address that you have placed within that the brokerage, and what you're gonna file on your what is it, your 1099B is what is going to be under.
Henry?
Yep.
All right, well, glad to hear that you have something in the works that should be able to change your life. Be able to dodge that bullet. we won't tell nobody you went from Jersey to Port. It's safe for that, brother.
Yeah, but even if we do, right? I mean, that's to be doable, right? It's within. I'm trying to stay within the rules. I'm not trying to,
No, of course. Like either way. Look, you're gonna pay some kind of taxes, right? You're gonna pay some kind of taxes either way down the line, because as long as you live with in the U.S., you're gonna pay over. Yeah, like you're gonna pay some type of tax on that 1099B.
That's what's up. But Henry, so I just had a question for you. So obviously, when you went into the trade, went into it with some type of goal. Now, whenever anyone has a goal, they do know, what comes before us with those goals. Now, the fact that the plate has probably went beyond your expectations. Because the goal has went beyond your expectations, is that why, considering because you didn't expect, the gains went a little bit more than you anticipated? That why you were considering other alternatives?
Well, I was considering that, if it's going to be taxed at a long-term capital gains, because I bought it last year and it expires next year, that I wouldn't have that big of an issue. But with legislation pending, it could be.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that, my brother. So we have next question. We have Dr. Quenisha. How you doing
are very helpful. Luckily, I do have an LLC, and I'm trading out of my Roth IRA. But my question was, my headset went out, but what is the percentage of tax for the regular cash accounts that are under the earnings of $5,000? I didn't hear that part.
Come again? Say it one more time.
What was the percentage of tax? I heard you say something. It was like 12%.
Yeah. So for like the let's say this is more so for like the individual, right?
Okay.
So if you're like an individual and you're doing this is for like the 2000 for 2020.
Okay.
Right, and this is all on the IRS. If you're filing single and you made anything above like up to 9,875, you're gonna be taxed about 10%. If you're in that same category, but you have made about, let's say, 40 grand, 40,125, right? You're gonna be taxed 12%. Anything above that to like about 85K, going to be taxed 22%. Okay. Now that is for tax that much.
Okay, and then my last two questions are, when you sign up, that's what I haven't done. Like, if you go on your brokerage account and you do choose to sign up under your LLC, are you using the EIN number instead of the Social Security number?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm using. I'm using my EIN number because for those who are not aware, like your EIN basically is like your Social Security number. That's what you use to open up your bank accounts. That's what you use to do like a lot of transactions with.
Okay, and then what are your thoughts on IUL?
On IULs?
Yes, it's the Index Universal Life Insurances, and they're the ones where you can have the life insurance policies, but it's capped with the S&P 500.
That's a whole different game for me on the IUL aspect.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Dr. Quenisha. Okay. So, covered a lot. Definitely was a lot of gems, but Dr. Quenisha called them nuggets. I like that. Nuggets would drop. Definitely for as appreciate a lot of the support from the community. Also appreciate you, Emmanuel, as well, to taking time out of your schedule to explain to people the importance of taxes and also creative ways of financing as well too. JQ, did y'all have any further questions for Emmanuel?
I didn't, man. He did a great job of covering a ton of information, sharing it with the public. Hopefully people were taking notes and really taking this information seriously, because he dropped some gems there. Free.
Thank you. And these are the type of, like I said, these are the type of conversations that people don't tend to, or as to even think or have a thought process. You guys just heard, I forgot what the young man's name was. Who was just on stage? What was his name?
Henry.
Yeah, he was just on stage, and again, he is thinking about, when it comes to him selling, that he's considering moving because of taxes. Like that right there should let you guys know how things can go if you come across something that could change your life. That he's considering the taxes in another state to move to avoid that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, sometimes you come across these plays that are very beneficial for yourself and your family and your household. But that's for us, one of them. So definitely enjoyed for the conversation and definitely learned a lot as well too. Again, make sure you guys are also for showing love for us to Emmanuel. Make sure you guys obviously for it as showing him love, following for us him, and also checking out. He has a community on Facebook. So again, Emmanuel, if you could let people know how to get in contact with you and about what you do. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So if you click my face right here, you can get to my Instagram bio. I basically have Facebook, the finance vault. I said before, I have a combination. Services, people dealt with crypto, stocks, stake, anything financial, trade commodities, such, discuss things, finances, or give out ideas. Of course, they pitch their businesses as well in between times. And on Wednesday, from 8:30, it's where I go on Facebook Live and talk about the market, plays, about headlines, everything. As we do teaching as well, how to break things with great level. Instead, you can definitely welcome to join this finance vault Facebook, and of course click on my Instagram bio to get the group as well.
Appreciate you, man. Again, make sure you guys are showing love to Emmanuel. And again, thank you so much, my brother, for taking time and breaking down the really important information when it comes to stock investing. You know, capital gains, capital losses, all that good stuff that obviously people need to know, man. Like I'm sitting here, I'm over here, you know, I'm over here just a little bit kind of going back to my first year and how I didn't think about that. And I remember when I got my taxes and I remember how much I had to pay. And it could have been avoided. People. Could have been avoided. So again, if it's something that you're incorporating into your lifestyle of really getting into investing, you have to factor in taxes. Have a plan with a CPA, you know, and make sure you're protecting yourself and doing it the right way. That's all I gotta say.
Excellent.
Appreciate you. So without that, Jay, y'all ready for the game, my brothers, and bringing people on up?
There you go.
Alright, I'll let my brothers hold it down. I'm going to be here, but I'm pretty sure Jay Wise and are going to hold down for the fort. And again, all of our friends, go ahead, just feel free to raise your hand. We'll bring you on up. There's a lot of y'all. So whoever want to come on up, play the game, come on up. We appreciate you. Go ahead.
No beers allowed. Now play.
Yo, Dr. Emmanuel, brother, I just wanted to tell you, man, that was fire. Great fire, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man. I definitely appreciate you for having me. It was good, everybody. It was good. Appreciate you definitely, man. You have lots of pleasure having you join us. Real quick, y'all, we about to get into this game. Y'all know what time it is. Taco Tuesday. So for those of you guys that's ready to play this game, we're gonna go ahead and have some fun and get this thing going. So we need you to have 2 devices.
Oh, nope.
Or the Kahoot app.
Nope.
Hold
Just
up.
need 1 device now this time. We done upgraded.
Alright, Jay, run it, bro. Run it, bro.
Just 1 device. That's all you need. Just use your phone. Log into Kahoot. I mean, you can still use 2 devices if you wish, so that you can view the stream on laptop or whatever. But you can get the code by going to the YouTube. By visiting the Stock Street University. Go ahead and give them the spiel.
Alright, but so website. Come on. My bad. Computer slow. StockStreetUniversity.com. And once you get